Hello and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in to start off with, happy Sunday. And I am Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, a mom and a wife. And as long as we are continuing to be in 2021 for another what? 2 weeks, I'm here to help you see yourself as the best version of who you are. And I'm hoping that you actually see that because you are. You're the best version of yourself. You just got to start believing in it. And after all, isn't this the season to believe? Yes, it is. Well, how is everybody doing on this amazing Sunday? I think it's actually, is it the last Sunday? No. Do we have another Sunday? No, this is the last Sunday of 2021. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Anyway, let's do some housekeeping. Let's start off by saying that if you've missed any episodes, you can catch us on Roku and YouTube. So if you missed any, if the weather is a little cold by you, maybe it would be a great day to sit around and turn on your Roku channel and do a marathon of Joanne's Healing Within. I want to give a big shout out to my advertising sponsors that make the show happen week after week after week. And there's a list of them, so I don't want to leave any of them out. You know what it looks like. You could just Google in on Google, on Amazon, the Author's Porch magazine, and you'll find it. Then there's also Intuition of the Soul, which is by Kitty and Amy, and they have amazing programs during the course of the week. So you could definitely find them all over the place. All you have to do is put in the search bar Intuition of the Soul, and you'll find all the amazing programs. Kendrick Greer, we all know Kendrick Greer. He's the amazing astrologer. And I'm going to hopefully have him on for 2022 at some point. Nick Rafter, of course, he's our editor, writer, and journalist. And of course, he helps you find your new home and apartment as the real estate agent. Joe Monkman, he's the shamanic healing practitioner and wellness advocate. And our newest advertising sponsor is, last but not least, Sue Joy Menschel. She's an author and self-publisher, and interesting enough, she's our guest for today, which I'll be talking more about and to her shortly. But before we dive into that, again, I always like to provide you a little bit of insight regarding what's going on in the world, cosmically speaking, not necessarily politically speaking. And what's going on right now, cosmically speaking? Well, some big stuff going on as of today, for that matter. Well, let's roll it back to yesterday. Last night, we had our full moon in Gemini energy. Most of us are still feeling that energy. Gemini is an air sign, so it really is about the intellect, the evaluating. And when we think about full moon energy, full moon's about letting the old stuff go. So you might be reflecting about whatever it is you're reflecting on, whether it's how you communicate, how you travel, how you work with your computer, how you work with others. That might be going on in your head right now. And interesting enough, when we think about that full moon in Gemini energy, it is associated with Mercury. And if you don't know by now, Mercury is in Capricorn energy. So there is a lot of work being done physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. In fact, I would recommend that you come join me the first Wednesday in January, because I'll be speaking a lot about this energy then at that point. So save that, put that on your calendar for now, so you'll know to come join me. And that's at 3 p.m. Eastern time, the first Wednesday in January. So now that we had that full moon yesterday, we're still feeling the energy of it today, December 19th, 2021, Venus has gone retrograde. Now, we're so used to Mercury going retrograde, so we already know what retrograde actually means, but just in case there's a few newbies watching for the first time, retrograde means, very simple format is the energy of Venus is going to slow down. It's going to give us an opportunity to reflect, reboot, recharge, review the energy of Venus. Now, what is the energy of Venus? Venus is associated with love, money, and relationships. And when you really tie that up in a pretty bow, considering the holiday season, the relationship you have with others, relationship you have with yourself, and the relationship you have with money, and also the relationship you have with your job, whether it's a 9 to 5 or you are an entrepreneur, and there might be a lot of conversation going on in one's head about valuing yourself in reference, are you being what's the word I'm looking for? Are you being appreciated for the work that you do, especially if you work at a 9 to 5 job? Are you actually being appreciated for the services that you do, services that you bring to the table? So there's a lot of energy going on with that right now. And interesting that Venus has gone retrograde rather, and it's going to be in this energy right through January, I believe, 27th. So this is just the beginning. There's going to be a lot of energy on it. Now, depending on where Venus sits on your actual astrological chart, will then give you a theme to what it's going to focus on for the entire period it's in retrograde. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with your astrological chart, you've never had one done, you've never had one in your hand, my suggestion would be go over to astro.com, plug in all the information that they ask for, and then you'll have this amazing chart. Now, if you do not know the time you were born, you're going to do one of two things. You're going to put in 12 a.m. and then redo it and put in 12 p.m. The only thing that's going to be different on that chart is the rising sign or ascending sign. Everything else is going to be the exact same thing. And then you're going to have to figure out which energy you really resonate with. So with this Venus in retrograde as we speak, there's a lot of work, physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental work going on that just started right now, where we're going to be doing a lot of reflecting. And come January 27, when Venus will go direct, is when all of this reflecting is going to start to take place. So right now, things might seem a little slow. And then as we move into January, things are going to start to pick up energetically regarding the work that we do, the actual 9 to 5, our spiritual work, the work we're doing on our body, the work we're doing in relationship. So there's going to be a lot of movement going on as of January 27th. So this is reflection time. That doesn't mean you're not going to see anything happening. It just means it's going to be a slower, it's almost like the train just trying to get itself going. Or for example, when a plane is ready to fly, it's got to run down that runway before it actually takes momentum. Same thing with Venus. It's going to slow down. And then once it starts to go direct again, then the momentum is going to start to go quicker and quicker and quicker. So this is a great time to do some reflecting. And again, depending on where Venus is on your chart will then determine how it's going to play a role for you during this retrograde period. For example, Venus for me is in Pisces energy. I'm not quite sure of the house it's in, but because it's in Pisces energy, which is associated with 12th house, it really is about how I'm going to be tying up loose ends regarding everything I just spoke about, how I'm going to be changing things up regarding the way I do work with people, how I'm going to be changing things up on my spiritual journey, how things are going to start to shift for me. Things are going to actually get a little more intensified for me regarding my spiritual work that I'm doing. So I'm really excited about that. And then how relationships are going to shift a little bit. So I'm really excited about that too. I'm already starting to see that. So my question for you is for you to go check out your natal chart, and then either here in the comments below, you can put down what sign your Venus is in, or you can even email healingwithin76@gmail.com, and I'll provide some insight. With all that being said, I want to pull a card and see what chakra we need to work on today for this energy, what affirmation we can use to raise our vibration and will also add to your story, and what number is going to provide a hidden message and is associated with your astrology. So interesting enough, the card's in reverse. Now, if you've been watching the show week after week, or you watch my lives, whatever have you, you already know that the card in reverse means we need to do some work. When the card's in reverse, the chakra itself might need your attention. And that's the high heart, which is really about compassion, more joy, more peace. And that's what we really need to start looking at and looking to find. If we continue to focus on the fears and the worries and the doubts, unfortunately, that's what we're going to continue to attract. So it's really important to start seeing more compassion. And why not start with yourself? The affirmation is healing. So this is really a great time now that Venus has retrograde in Capricorn energy. So this is really a great time to do some healing work. The number 6, which is associated with Virgo energy, which is about scheduling time to do your healing. So if you are not in the habit to have a practice for healing, whether it's acupuncture, cupping, Reiki, sound healing, those modalities specifically, because those are the modalities that's actually going to go deep into your cells and start moving the energies. Those are the modalities you really want to start working on. That 6 energy in numerology is about healing, nurturing, taking care of yourself, and also taking care of your family, your home. And when we think of the home, it really is about the home of your body and the home that you live in, your shelter. And it's about, excuse me, it's about your karmic lessons as well. And that's what Venus is all about, checking in on your karmic lessons. Just want to give a shout out before we go to a commercial break, because I see I have a lot of amazing folks following right now. So a big shout out to Adam Abrapsowitz. I hope I said that right. And if I didn't, my apologies. Sherry Hedden, Scott Hedden for that matter. Sue Sendin, I hope I said that right. My apologies if I'm screwing up the last names. I'm usually pretty good with that. And Sherry says, I need to schedule a time to do my healing. Yes, Sherry, you definitely do. We all do. It's not just one person. We all need to make sure that we are doing the work that we are here to do. Healing specifically because it's very intensified. The energy is really concentrating on doing the work for ourselves, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. And again, I'm going to be speaking about this more and more, and you can learn more about it. Come join me the first Wednesday in January on my radio show, Joanne's Cosmic Energy Radio Show. Same time, 3 p.m. Only difference is on Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month. So with that being said, I'm going to take a quick commercial break because I want to sort of stay on track because I have an amazing guest coming on with me, and we're going to be diving in to what I like to call for the title, The Journey of an Author's Path. The Journey of an Author is the title for today. So I'll be right back. See you in a bit.
Hi, I'm Susan Menchel, author and self-publisher of 3 books, Visions, which is poetry, The Journey, which is more poetry, and Lucky the Starfish, which is for children, and I illustrated the book myself. If you'd like a book, you can get it at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. And if
Hey guys, welcome. We are back on the Author Sports. I am so excited to be here with my co-host Anastasia. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. It's so good to see you again. We don't get to see each other very often. We might have to do this every week, right? Tonight we are also talking with Scott.
Hi, I'm Susan Menchel, author and self-publisher of 3 books, Visions, which is poetry, The Journey, which is more poetry, and Lucky the Starfish, which is for children, and I illustrated the book myself. If you'd like a book, you can get it at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. And if
Hey guys, welcome. We are back on the Author Sports. I am so excited to be here with my co-host Anastasia. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. It's so good to see you again. We don't get to see each other very often. We might have to do this every week, right? Tonight we are also talking with Scott.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, and you've missed the very first part of today's show, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I will introduce my amazing guest in just a second. Just want to do sort of like a review for those of you who might have missed today's show. Know that you can definitely catch it on Roku and YouTube as well. So you never really miss anything when you really have connections here. Our card for the day, which was in reverse. Now, those of you are not sure what this means, a reverse card just means you really need to pay attention to the message. And more importantly, we really want to do the work on the chakra, which is about the high heart. We need to start focusing on seeing more compassion, more kindness, more love. And in order for us to see that, we have to be the ones to actually start activating it. So it's our job, each and every one of us, to start putting out compassion, love, and joy to the world, not just during the holiday season, but all the time. The affirmation is healing, and this is a perfect card because Venus has just gone retrograde. And when we think about Venus in retrograde in Capricorn energy, this is a perfect time to do your healing work, schedule the healing work, help others to heal as well. The number 6 is all about healing, nurturing karmic lessons, and stepping into your home, which is your body and your shelter, and connecting with family as well. So there's a lot going on, So let's dive into this because I said there's a lot going on. I want to introduce my amazing guest today, and hopefully I say her whole name correctly, although she only has doesn't have her middle name up, but I'm going to use it anyway because I love it. Susan Joy Metchell. Did I say that correctly, or did I screw the last name up?
And Menchel.
Menchel, there you go.
You got it.
Susan is a published author, self-published author for that matter, and she has 3 amazing books. But before we dive into 3 amazing books, what I like to find out from Susan, I like for her to share, Susan, what inspired you to even want to write books?
When I was around 16 and I learned how to play the guitar, there was somebody around at that time who's no longer around, Jim Croce, and all of his songs were like poetry. He was always rhyming and telling a story. And from listening to him and Bob Dylan also at the time, I got inspired to write my own poems, my own lyrics. Some of my poems were meant to be lyrics for music.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And when we think about writing your book and writing poems for that matter, do any of the poems have any significance to things you were going through in your lifetime, or are these poems just sort of channeled in?
I think that the first book, Visions, definitely has a lot to do with me being 16 and 20 and 30 and the different stages that I went through, different people that I met, and different feelings that I had at the time. So definitely my life story is mixed in the poems.
Nice. Now with the poems and visions, what came first, the poems or the title?
The poems all came first.
Excellent, excellent. And then from the poems, that's where you came up with the title Visions?
Yeah, because they were basically the visions I had at different ages, where the poems themselves were visions.
Beautiful,
What it was
beautiful.
like to be me. Yeah.
Excellent. And that's one of 3 books that you've written, yes?
Right. There was one poem in particular that's been published like 3 or 4 times that I wanted to just out of visions to read to everybody so they would have a clue how the poems feel.
Okay, you want to do that now?
Yeah,
Sure.
it's called Under the Bridge. Under the bridge, lights yellow and green mix with the waves, moving, flickering. Under the bridge, I sat pondering how strange the old tires, broken bottles, the algae rocks, the cars and trucks above, and the water all meet. No black and white here, all substances blend together here. No way for me to concentrate on one form without taking in the others. Under the bridge, a resolution of sorts overcomes me. I feel no need to hurry. I feel no need to connect. I am another substance, blending yet separate, separate yet certainly not alone.
Beautiful. And can we just see the cover of that book? That is a beautiful cover. Now I know you're also an artist, yes?
Yeah, so I painted this.
Yes, I was going to say, is that one of your beautiful paintings?
Yes, it's actually on
Awesome.
the opposite wall of where I'm sitting right now.
Awesome. Awesome. And do you sell any of your paintings as well?
I guess if somebody wanted to buy a painting, I would sell it.
And do you have a spot where you exhibit your paintings so people can actually get a chance to see them?
Well, I used to exhibit at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Shelter Rock, but because of COVID, it's been shut down. So if anybody has a place that they want to tell me about, I would definitely do an exhibit. I have paintings everywhere.
Excellent. Excellent. Perhaps we can figure something out for the new year, you and I.
Okay.
Definitely, definitely. Awesome, awesome. So what we're going to do is before we dive into the second and third book, because she does have two other books, and again, trying to keep it on track here, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And before we do that, Susan, let them know how they can reach you.
My email is sue dot menchel menchell @gmail.com.
Awesome. Very good. And there should be a flyer there that says just that as well. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Bobby, are you there?
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest who's an author and self-publisher, Miss Susan. She's written 3 amazing books. She just read a poem from one of her books, Visions. So definitely you're gonna wanna come back and watch later so you can listen to that amazing poem. And we're gonna be speaking about her second book, which is called Journey. Now, I think the title itself says it all. I'm going to guess that in this book, there's a lot going on in reference to her journey. I'm assuming so. Am I assuming correctly, Susan, in reference to that the poems in this one is more about your journey that you've been taking?
Even the cover is a little bit different. It's a photograph by an artist friend of mine, Bernard, and it's about taking that road less traveled and being on the journey and doing things a little bit differently than everybody else, doing my own thing.
I was going to say, doing it at your own pace and make it based on what you want to do it versus based on what everybody else is. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the book Journey.
Well, this one is like from age 38 to 58. Or 59. The last book I wrote was about age 16 to 33. So these are more mature poems and more mature subjects, and relationships are in here. And what could I say? Different feelings that women go through as they age. One of them is
Yes.
called Body, and I wanted to read Body because it's an excellent poem about the changes we go through and
Now,
how.
before you do that, in reference to the poems that's in that book, yes, you said that it's for a more mature audience, but at the same token, this is based on all the stuff that you've actually experienced, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's very personal to you as well.
Right.
Awesome. All right, so let's dive into that. You had said you want to share a poem with us,
Right.
so
It's
let's go for that.
it's called Body. So it goes like this. This body is some burden. I carry it, but never marry it to my soul. Somewhere else, I suppose. I fret at each lump and each imperfection, yet I know it gets worse, so why don't I let it go? You know, I once was a teen with skinny hips and tight jeans. I once strutted like a cat, followed by a trail of suitors' eyes. Why, oh, why do you own a thing that you never choose? Had this come to be me? And I dress, fluff my hair, make up here, push up there. Where has my importance begun and ended, inside or out? Is this a trap or a vehicle? I might change my stride should something inside be allowed to come out. I used to shout and now I whisper even to myself. This body is my way to say or do all that I need to. And I guess this body is a place, I guess, to hide or even to rest.
That, to start off with, that's a gorgeous poem.
Thank you.
And it's so appropriate with the fact that Venus has gone retrograde in Capricorn. Because when we think about Venus energy, Venus is associated with our body because Venus
Right.
is about the relationships we have with ourselves, with others, and also with money as well. But let's just tap into the fact of that what you just spoke about is your body. And
Right.
that connection, that relationship that you have with your body, and how as a child your body looked a certain way, and then like most adults, most women, as we age, after children, if they have children, and other just aging processes, our bodies do change.
Mhm.
So it is really interesting on how you chose to read that poem today, and you mentioned when we were during commercial break that poem is going to be featured in the amazing Author's Porch magazine, correct?
Right.
Beautiful. So I think it's so appropriate, and for the women out there, I mean, I know when you were reading it like really hit home, because we really, as women, really need to learn to love our bodies exactly how they are. Every lump, every scar, whether we have a size 22 waist or a size 44 waist, we have to love the body that we're in, because we only really get one.
Right.
I mean, we can go and have surgery done on, Botox and liposuction and everything else, but when you really come down to it, you only get one body. So why not really love it?
So, she focused
Who's who's
in
she?
October, CJ Ives focused on like childhood and changes. So there was another poem I put in there called Tingle, about my mother giving me a bath when I was like 2 or 3 or something like that. And that's a whole different body, like where you're putting on the foam on your head and making ears and all of this crazy stuff, or a unicorn horn. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of poems in the journey on how it feels to go through changes, and also memories of what it was like to be younger and little, and different feelings for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm sure you could probably add more poems, and for that matter, even let's say a second part to that book in regards to what you're experiencing now. Even like for most of us who are watching our parents go through that whole process of change of life and their journeys as well.
Right.
So
Yeah, I
thank you
mean,
for sharing that poem. It was really beautiful. I really do
just
appreciate that.
you're welcome. You just gave me an idea, because my 93-year-old mother, she just turned 93 December 6th. And, she's going through a phase of remembering and forgetting and remembering and forgetting. And I think that I need to maybe put that on paper somewhere, and what it's like to observe that and what it might be like to feel that, to be going through that.
Exactly, exactly. You being able to witness what she is actually experiencing, because it is, and it is really a part of life. I mean, sadly to say, you're not the only person out there who's witnessing their parents experiencing this part of their journey. There's
Right.
so many people out there in the world that do get to experience this part of a parent's journey. But the beauty of it is that you also get to witness your mom. She's 96. That's a beautiful age. And you get to 93. Yes, 93. I always want to make your mom older. My apologies.
She'll get there yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she will. She's going to be here for quite some time,
Yeah.
But the whole factor is that we get to witness this. We get to see, I'm sure you remember your mom when she was, in her 40s for that matter, or in her 50s. I'm sure you remember that, and how
Right.
she shared stories with you about her journey as a young girl into this amazing, mature woman that she is.
Well, the last time I took her out for dinner with me, she went all backwards in time to when she was 21 and she was going to college in New York, and she came here from West Virginia, and she had all these stories about different places she lived.
Yes, yes. My suggestion to you for that is either A, carry a recorder so you can record what she's sharing with you. So perhaps you might want to use this as some poems, or B, pen and paper and write down some things that she is saying. Because
Right.
theoretically, when they do reach that mature age, they do start to share a lot of stories from their younger years, because that's what they start to remember more of.
Right.
And it's beautiful because they get to share that with us. And silly to say, eventually we'll be doing the same thing. Because it's just something that happens as we age. We start sharing, our history, so to speak, which is
Yeah,
an
I mean,
amazing thing.
my boyfriend's 65, so he's a little bit older than me. And he does reminisce. I see that. It's a thing that you do as you grow older, towards 60, 70, you start to
Exactly.
reminisce.
Hey, I reminisce every day, and I'm only 51. So, so sometimes it's nice to just go back and think about something from, let's say, 20 years ago.
Right, right.
In fact, my sister, my sister actually sent me a picture of myself when I was in my 20s, and my daughter saw it, and my daughter was like, oh my God. So yeah, so reminiscing. And that's a great gateway into your third book, because we just got done talking about Susan's journey of the more mature time in her life. And she's written a children's book as well of poetry. Is that correct?
True.
Yes. So, and that one is called The Lucky Starfish, or Lucky Starfish. Yes.
Lucky
Yes.
the Starfish.
Yes. So talk to me a little bit about that one. What's that about?
Well, I was actually looking for somebody to do all the drawings, and then I don't know, I said, you know what, screw it, I'll just do these drawings myself. And so they're a little bit childlike, but I wanted that because it's a children's book.
Exactly.
And it's about a starfish that has a bent arm. And because he has a bent arm, the fishermen throw him back in the water. They don't take him out to put him in the stores to sell and all of that. So he gets to be free in the ocean by himself and doesn't realize how lucky he is to be able to not get captured. And in the end, a little fish tells him, the whole story.
Yes. Awesome. Now I'm sure there's a poem in there you'd like to share with us. Yes. I know we didn't talk about this one, but I'm being guided to ask you to share one.
This is Boo. This is the blowfish who talks to Lucky and tells him about how lucky he is. But this isn't actually poetry. This is an actual book.
Oh, okay. So go for it.
So I just opened to this page, and it said, the starfish shuddered to see Boo was right and said that he was the lucky one. Then Boo said, don't be sad. you get to swim free in the ocean with me, and I'm going to call you Lucky the Starfish. So I read you the actual last page of the book, but there's a whole story leading up to it where Lucky feels unlucky until somebody else changes his vision of himself. And there he is, you know, on his clamshell going through the ocean.
Yeah, and when you think about it, I mean, as you're sharing this amazing book, this too is in alignment to this Venus energy, because there are many people, whether they're children or adults, because even adults do this, where we question how we look. We question whether or not we fit in. And it's to the point where, let's say if someone does have, let's say, something different from somebody else, they feel like they don't fit in. They feel like, you know, they're not good enough. So that's a beautiful book to, you know, for children. And what a perfect age to implement this whole process of like really learning and understanding that it's okay to be different. In fact, it's amazing to be different because you're going to stand out, and standing out is great. You know, as opposed to sort of looking like everybody else and blending in and sort of getting lost into that. So I highly recommend, you know, if you can stand out as much as you can stand out. So I love that book. That's a beautiful book. Now, what age category would that book be for?
You know, I just was thinking that I would say anywhere from 2 to, you know, 2 and up, because my boyfriend read it to his then grandson who was 2, and he was sitting listening to the whole story, you know, and picked it up a little bit. So I'd say 2 or 3 and up.
Yeah, so then 2 or 3-year-olds, the book can be read to. And then for those little ones who are actually starting to learn to read themselves, they can read it too, yes?
So yes, because the words are simple.
Yes, and if you wouldn't mind, just showing some of the illustrations in the book, because from what you show, they look beautiful. And you've done these illustrations, they're not by somebody else?
No, I did these myself.
Beautiful.
So that's Lucky being sad.
Beautiful.
That's the fisherman going after all the starfish and throwing Lucky back.
Aw. And Lucky doesn't realize how special he really is. He got thrown back rather than taken away.
Except for the blowfish. Boo the blowfish comes along, and Boo starts talking to him and tells him what it's really all about. So Boo and him have a conversation on the beach.
Awesome.
And then he thinks that the other starfish are going to a castle.
Yeah.
But instead they're in a store. Boo shows him they're in the store and they're all dried out and they're dead.
Oh, yeah. So sad. Yeah. How beautiful though. The creativity that must have come for you to be able to put this into a book.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. I love that.
Really fun. It was really fun doing it.
I love that. I love that. Yes. And so here you have 3 different books that really captures different ages. Like you have Lucky the Starfish for children. You have Visions for 16 and like 38 you said about?
Yeah.
And then you have the Journey, which is for the mature population. So you really hit a nice bit of a nice range
of people,
of ages. Yeah, awesome. I love that. And do you have another book in mind for 2022, or you're not thinking of that just yet?
Now that we brought it up, maybe I'll do a book on reminiscing. Maybe I'll do a book, you know, about reminiscing or on reminiscing. I don't know if it'll be poems or an actual book.
Yes, and here's a title. You can use it if you want, and if you choose not to, that's fine. Somebody else might. The title that I'm hearing is The Magic Behind Memories.
The Magic Behind Memories.
Is what I'm hearing, yes. So yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that if you are going to write another book, that would be a great title, because I'm guessing, because when we think about reminiscing, that's exactly what it is. It's memories.
Or even magical memories.
Yeah, that too. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. See, we already have a title, and I'm sure you have a handful of poems or stories that you can share? So here you go. Has to be written. Has to be written. Very good. So what I like to do is, again, I like to let the audience know how they can reach you before we take another commercial break. So let them know how they can reach you.
Hey, sue.menchel@gmail.com. So it's sue.menchell@gmail.com.
Excellent. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to have some more with Sue. And she's going to share maybe some tips for those of you who might be interested in becoming an author. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR@gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hi, I'm Susan Menchel, author and self-publisher of 3 books, Visions, which is poetry, The Journey, which is more poetry, and Lucky the Starfish, which is for children, and I illustrated the book myself. If you'd like a book, you can get it at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. And
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha. Aloha.
Hello and welcome back. For those of you who are just tuning in, I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Clone. I have my amazing guest, Susan, here with me, who is an author, publisher, self-publisher, and also illustrator as well, which I actually knew this, but probably forgot. And we were just chatting about the 3 amazing books that she's written. She's pretty much tapped into every age group there is, from little ones all the way up to the mature adults. And you're definitely going to want to come back and watch. And you could do this by watching on Roku, YouTube, Twitter. You know, we're there everywhere. And because you're definitely going to want to hear some of the poems that she shared during today's show. And Susan, where can you actually get these 3 books at? Where are they available?
all 3 books, including Lucky the Starfish, are on BarnesandNoble.com, and they're on Amazon.com. So easy, very easy, especially Amazon.
Excuse me. I was trying to mute myself, but I couldn't get there fast enough. Anyway, so that's great that they can be purchased. And there's still time for those people out there who are looking for that special Christmas gift, especially children's Christmas gift. Lucky the Starfish is a great children's book. If you need a little extra gift, something to stick in a stocking or just to give to a child, why not? And even for the adults out there, she's got Visions and also Journey. So why not? This is a great time of year. So definitely go ahead and take advantage of these 3 books that she has to offer. So Susan, I'm sure there are some viewers out there who are watching with us or will be watching later. What is some advice you can give regarding somebody that might be interested in taking their poems that they have in a black and white notebook or their or pads or just papers all over the place? What advice would you give that person in reference to publishing their stuff?
Find somebody who will help organize it with you. And I had 2 editors because my first editor got really busy, so I needed somebody else to do the second book was actually the third book, The Journey with me. So get yourself somebody who is on the same wavelength as you. And just try to bring all the papers that you have with you, and don't be embarrassed if it's like on different notebooks and different slices of paper. um Aphrodite, who she did this first book. We did it ourselves, Aphrodite Marissus, and she lives down in Whitestone, and I brought her um just a Word document, and we turned it into a book.
Excellent.
So,
And for those of you who are interested in connecting with Aphrodite, you can connect with her on Facebook. All you have to do is search her name. She's on Facebook, and she does do editorial work for those who are writing books out there. I mean, there's so many editors these days that it's real simple to go find a great editor. I mean, I have a whole bunch of people that, if there are somebody out there who is looking to write that first book and do need an editor, reach out to me and I'll plug you to the right person for your book. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think CJ Ives Lopez also does some amazing editorial work as well.
I mean, and I found somebody through somebody else who has Hatto the Bear. She has a little kid's book about a bear.
Yes.
And her editor was in Pennsylvania, and I made friends with him. And he did Lucky the Starfish and The Journey for me. We worked together from Pennsylvania to New York, and we did a lot of emailing back and forth with each other and talking on the phone, and it went fine.
Yes.
They don't even have to be in New York. It could be
exactly. And from what I understand, when it comes to editing books, reality of it all is the editing part is probably the most challenging part, because once you have everything already written and it's out of your brain and it's onto paper, then it's just massive editing to get it to the words just to flow the most easiest way possible. So I mean, I know for myself, having the right editor to get that book out there in your viewers' hands is really important. So, but there's plenty of them. So any of you who are looking to write that book, and your biggest fear is, well, who's going to edit? Reach out to Susan, reach out to me. We could both get you in the right hands for that editing. And Susan, in regards to those who are just starting out with writing, they don't have anything in the notebook yet, what would be your advice, your tip regarding them to start writing?
Well, just don't be afraid to put down on paper like what you're feeling. It doesn't have to make a ton of sense at first. It's more to just get the words on the paper and then reread it at another time. I mean, when I'm really inspired to write a poem, it could be on a napkin in a restaurant, and I just grab a pen and I write a poem on a napkin, and I don't really know what I'm writing about until after I write it. Then I come back and read it. Sometimes we're just inspired because we have feelings going on, and that's the best way to write a poem or a book or whatever you're going to write.
Perfect. And as they say, and also, me being a writer as well, we all have a book in us. Every one of us. Doesn't matter if you think what you have to write is something important. There's something important. We all have something to say, something to share. And I truly believe every book that we do write is a book to help somebody. So thank you, Susan, for writing your 3 amazing books, especially Lucky the Starfish. I do believe that's a really fantastic book for children, especially as we move forward. And with Venus being in retrograde in Capricorn, this is a perfect time for children and even adults to really reflect on how they feel about themselves. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Susan, would you be open to receiving a reading today?
That would be great.
As I like to do with many of my guests, I like to provide them some insight to what's in store for them in the upcoming weeks and months, especially with Venus being in retrograde in Capricorn. So all I'd like for you to do, Susan, is just to recite your full name that's on your birth certificate out loud 3 times for me, just so I can get into your energy.
Okay, Susan Joy Menchel, Susan Joy Menchel, Susan Joy Menchel.
Excellent. So let's see what's in store for Susan regarding this amazing energy that is coming, that is in. So Susan's card's in reverse. So again, for those of you who might be watching today's show for the very first time, you've never seen me before, a reverse card just means that Susan needs to pay attention to the message here, and that she definitely wants to work on her solar plex energy because it's in reverse. The message is old soul. So when we think about the old soul means that Susan's been here multiple times before, but also to connecting with yourself as an old soul. So whatever it is that you do have regarding writing that next book, your old soul can bring some history out for you, as we just spoke about history before. So that's really amazing in reference to the old soul, reaching out, sitting quietly, connecting with ancestors to get some insight as well. Now, the number 2 and 6, 2 is that partnership that you will have with your ancestors to connect with them and ask them to give you that wisdom. That 6 is about scheduling time to connect with ancestors so you can write that next book, and not just the next book, but there's multiple books that I believe that you're going to be writing. I believe there's at least another 3 more coming in for 2022. So you'll be doing a lot of writing as you move into 2022. 2 and 6 is associated with the 8 energy, which is all about the 8th house is about, the number 8 in numerology is about finding that balance so you can have the time to write, and also the karmic cycle, and also that that space of stability as well. Now, when we talk about 8 in numerology, in astrology, it's the 8th house, which is associated with letting go of the old and allowing space for the new to come in, and that transformation that is occurring, which is really attached to that solar plex energy, which is really about allowing yourself to trust the journey that you are on and trust the journey that you are moving on to. Does that make sense to you?
Totally.
I love that. I love that. Perfect. Excellent. So yes, and again, even for our viewers, even though that reading was for Susan, it might resonate with you as well. So be mindful of that. And if it does, I would love to know that. Susan, let our viewers know how they can reach you one last time.
Okay, so I'm at sue.menchel@gmail.com. So it's sue.menchell@gmail.com.
Excellent. And all of Susan's books can be found on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and I would assume most online bookstores. Yes?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Susan, I'd like to thank you again for being here and sharing your 3 amazing books that you've written. And I'm looking forward to reading the other upcoming books that will be taking place in 2022 and having you come back to share those books. So thank you again for being here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'll come back with the conclusion of today's show. We'll be right back. Are you ready to release issues from your tissues as you release emotional weight and fall in love with yourself? Well, I get to witness your transformation of becoming the best version of who you are already. Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck, and the owner of Holistic Fitness located in Queens, New York. I work with women and men by referral. All services are available via Zoom and on-site. Send all questions to healingwithin76@gmail.com. I do look forward to helping you release issues from your tissues as you release emotional weight and fall in love with yourself. Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you just tuning in, you're tuning in the last couple of minutes of today's show, but that's all good. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. You can find today's show and all other shows on Roku and Twitter and YouTube. So with all that being said, I just want to give a big shout out to some of our promos. And those promos are, we have CJ Ives Lopez, who is again the host and also publisher of the Author's Porch podcast and Author's Porch magazine. Her next magazine is scheduled to come out on January 1st. You can find the Author's Porch magazine on Amazon.com. Then we also have Intuition of the Soul with Kitty and Amy. They have an amazing, amazing, amazing group that meets every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and goes to about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But it's a fun group. If you like to do readings, that's the place to go. Then we also have Joe Monkman, who offers spirit messages every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. He connects with spirit and he provides insight. And if there's enough time, he also offers one-on-one readings as well. And last but not least, for those of you who are interested, I am offering and have been offering every Thursday since the month of December, $1 readings per minute with a minimum of 15-minute reading. So if you are somebody who would like to get a reading, curious to know what's going on with you for 2022 or what's going on with you for the remaining portion of 2021, this is a perfect opportunity. It's literally $15 for a 15-minute reading. And if you happen to do more, then the maximum I can imagine is probably like $30. So if that's something you're interested in taking advantage of, feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to setting up a time for you on Thursday. If Thursdays don't work and you really, really want to take advantage of this special, feel free to let me know that too, and I'll get you in, considering I think this is the last, I think it's the last Thursday, maybe one more. Anyway, and again, because I forgot to mention it early on, if you did not catch last Sunday's show, know that you can. I was the guest, and I spoke about, what did I speak about for last Sunday's show? I don't even remember. Just everything going on in 2021. So go and check out that. And for next week is the holiday weekend. So it will give you an opportunity to have that marathon because we will not be meeting. I will be back here the first Sunday of 2022, which will be January, oh my God, I think January 3rd. So I'll be back then. Enjoy your holiday season for those who are celebrating. And until then, have yourself a very, very wonderful Venus retrograde. Enjoy the full moon in Gemini, and just remember to do the work that you need to do. Heal, heal, heal. And as Susan mentioned in her amazing books, really start to love who you are. Love how you are. Love how different you are. Love how amazing you are, because you are. You are amazing. And love the body that you are in, and start treating your body as though you love it, because you only have one body. And if anything, Venus and Capricorn energy is going to teach you how to really do the work, the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual work. And know that this is going to be taking place from now right through January 27th. And in addition to that, Mercury is in Capricorn, and Mercury is going to go retrograde as well. So a lot of work that we'll be doing. Work, 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 and how we feel about it. So with all that being said, have yourself an awesome, awesome rest of the day. Bye-bye for now.